I'm Sean. This is my holy helmet, and this is episode 2 of Dry Humpin'. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Episode 2, Dry Humpin'. It is 2:29 a.m. East Coast time, Wednesday, March 31st. We doing this. Real quick. I went to do this episode around 6:30 p.m. Neighborhood kids was outside, a little too loud to do it, so I decided to take a 2-hour nap. And here we are, about 6 hours later. Sometimes we're gonna have situations where I'm gonna have to just touch on some stuff real fast, because by the time I sit down and record on Tuesday or Wednesday, it's old news. We're gonna do that right now, just get into some things that's old news, but I feel I need to still get on it. First and foremost, a bonnet is not a helmet of Christ. We gotta say that. A bonnet is not a helmet of Christ. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. That's not the case. I've seen the helmets of Christ. I see them every Easter Sunday. When your great-grandma or your grandma walk off in there with her Easter hat on. Those are helmets of Christ. When she come in there ready to show out and show off, because last year Miss Beverly came in with a hat that matched her 2.5-inch heels, and grandma didn't like that Miss Beverly was stunting on her. So she waited all year to come back with hers. Those things that sit on top of the heads of old ladies in Baptist churches in America, all over the hood, those are helmets of Christ. Not your bonnet that you didn't feel like because you feel like getting your hair ready to go hold your husband's hand when he was on his bullshit. And Derek, bruh, you lucky that it's old news, because I got something for your ass. I'ma chill though, cause if I had $5 for every time somebody sent me one of your damn videos, what do you think about this? I think this mother saying the most obvious ever. I digress. New York City. Basically, they're one or two steps away from just legalizing marijuana. You're going to be able to walk into a store if you're 21 plus, order some marijuana. If you live in the state, you're going to be able to grow your own plants at home. Shout out to New York, man. I don't know what the great state of Connecticut is doing, what they're waiting on. But, yeah, shout out to the state of New York. I don't know, forget the state of Connecticut. I don't know what's going on in the South, but what's going on with legalizing marijuana down there? I feel like if you're young and black in the South, you should be doing everything you can to make sure it gets legalized, because there's a history of very select enforcement of marijuana laws, as we know. So, just for the sake of everyone, I would just try my best, if I'm down there, to start looking to get politicians in place who want it legalized for you. We're going to get into Georgia a lot later, as you can tell from the title of the podcast. Excuse me. I need more tea. All right, here we are. Moving on, just stuff we're touching on real quick. Yeah, we're still in that part of it. Joe Biden. Joe Biden said, y'all thought I was only going to be here for 4 years. Nah, cuz, who said so? I want 4 more. Yo, that power, once you get the power in your hand, you don't want to relinquish that, man. Ask Thanos. So Joe Biden is really on his, we are here for 4 more years, and he's letting you know right now, very early in year 1. He had his first press conference. He probably couldn't wait to get that question asked. He was like, "Ned, I'm here." Shout out to Joe Biden, man. Everything's looking good so far. Everything's moving in a positive direction with the COVID rollout. I don't think there's anything to complain about with that, at least not where I'm sitting in Connecticut. Hopefully your state is on top of their stuff also. Yeah. I'm not gonna get political. That's not really what we're trying to do right now. Speaking of not getting political, hold on. We're gonna take a quick pause because the bulldog is snoring very loudly. Say hey to the people. Say what's up, everybody. Say what's up. This is Chamomile, everybody, and Chamomile's about to get kicked out because that's all she does is snort. So say hey, say what's up, peeps. And we out. Did you guys see the video of Donnie 45, our man Donald J. Trump, this past weekend at someone's wedding? Donald Trump got on the microphone and did what I could only describe as part therapy session with a psychologist and part Rose Garden press conference. But he wasn't at the Rose Garden. He was on the dance floor of someone's wedding. The band in the background was like, yo, man, we just want to play these beats, bro. Have you seen the border? Oh, it's a tremendous mess. Horrible. Oblivious. The border's so bad. So bad. You know what helps You know what helps control borders? Walls. Big, beautiful walls. I want to build a wall. They wouldn't let me. I'm like, now we need a wall. I tell them, call China. But they don't want to talk to us. The Chinese do not want to talk to us. They don't respect us, Doc. Nope, not as a country. No one wants to talk to us. No one respects us. Iran doesn't respect us. Speaking of Iran, I ran a beautiful campaign. People say, Don, that was the best campaign ever. I've been around for 70 years. Your campaign was the #1 campaign ever in life. As soon as I get out of office, boats get stuck in canals. Big boats. You think that boat gets stuck if I'm president? I get out there, I tell them, you get that damn boat moving, or the USA is no longer doing business with IKEA or Switzerland. That boat would have been out of there in 5 hours. 4 hours tops. Did a wedding this weekend. Nice wedding. Beautiful couple. Beautiful couple. They're going to go a long way. I was telling them after the wedding, you guys are going to go a long way. I see the way she looks at you. It's the same way that Ivanka looks at Justin Trudeau. Oh, Ivanka. I love her. Favorite child. But she's such a tease, Doc. Such a tease. She calls me daddy all the time, but she never lets me. Never mind. Doc, this couch is horrible. Doc, this couch is horrible. Is this what you do for pillows? Oh no, we gotta get you a better couch. Mike, it's Mike, my pillow guy. Mike, you know him? Great guy. Mike, do you do couches? On to a more serious note. Whew. All right, let's do this. My home state, what's going on? What's up, Georgia? I was just real curious, checking out some of the COVID stats recently. Starting tomorrow, my age, 35, I can go get vaccinated. Looking forward to it. And I was just curious as to how I was looking all over where we're at with the COVID numbers. And in Connecticut, I want to say it's like somewhere around 80% of the vaccines that the state has gotten, they had went in the arms. Georgia's somewhere around 68%. 68% of the vaccines in the state of Georgia that the state has received to give to the residents have actually been given to residents. That means over 30% of the vaccines are just sitting around waiting. That is 48th out of 51 states, including the District of Columbia. 48th. Come on, what are we doing? If you're someone who is sitting up and your life has changed in any way because you're worried about contracting coronavirus, so if you're not going out, you're wiping down groceries, if you're doing anything because you're worried about not catching coronavirus, yeah, we can't be afraid of the vaccine and afraid of the virus. So if you're afraid of the virus, go get vaccinated. And don't worry about the virus. From the reports I've been reading, I haven't seen anyone dying from the vaccine yet. I know there are going to be some people that are like, of course you ever heard about it. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. We can live our lives skeptical of everything always. The percentage of residents fully vaccinated, the state of Georgia is at 11%. That's 50th out of 51 states. The only state that has less of a percentage of people fully vaccinated is Utah. That's worrisome. I'm not gonna sit here and preach to people. I just want you guys to be safe, make choices, make smart choices. And if you decide to not get vaccinated, that's completely up to you. But yeah, herd immunity will not work if the herd does not get vaccinated. That's it. All right. Let's jump off these vaccines. And let's get to this new voting law that was just signed in this new voting legislation that was just signed into law by Governor Kemp behind closed doors. He went on Fox News shortly after and challenged the people out there to actually read the legislation and see what it was before you run and call it Jim Crow era legislation or Jim Crow era law. So I did. I went to read it, and it's basically what people are saying it is if you are giving out water to someone standing in line where we know the lines are going to be longer in black and minority communities, that is now against the law. They're going to limit the amount of polling voter drop boxes, make it a little bit more difficult for people to vote by mail. And just all these different things that are just taking us back to a time and making sure people have just valid licenses and IDs to come and vote. Just stuff that's going to make it difficult for older people and people just who are less fortunate and can't get around to vote when it's not necessary, because there was absolutely nothing substantiated when it came down to irregularities in the last election. That's just a fact. It's infuriating, to say the least. I don't want to get into it too heavy. I just have questions. First and foremost, if you are someone who's trained to do CPR and you do not administer CPR to someone who needs CPR, I'm not sure if that's against the law, but it goes against all civil codes in America, and I'm sure it comes with some sort of punishment or some sort of reprimand. But if I see someone suffering from a heat stroke, I can't give them water if they're standing in line to vote. That's kind of weird. I think this will be a great opportunity for the local police. If you're local police in the area, and we're to a point now where we would love to see the police. We keep using the term community police. We want people from the community to police the community. I think this would be a great opportunity for police to come and be a part of the community. So on the next election day, while those lines are extra long in certain neighborhoods, more likely minority neighborhoods that you guys are going to have been patrolling with more frequency than the places where there are going to be plenty of places to vote anyway. This is an opportunity for you guys to come and be a part of the community. So yeah, maybe I can't come out there and hand out water to someone because I see they've been in line for 4 hours. I just cast my vote. I got a bunch of water in the car. Let me A, get this water out of my car, and B, let me give it to some people who may be thirsty. I can no longer do that. Instead of you guys sitting there and making sure no one's doing that, and if they do, throw them in handcuffs, you guys be the ones out there passing out water and granola bars. Boom. People will view the police in a much different light already. Just that one action. Because this is opportunity. I talked about the selective enforcing of marijuana laws in the South, and let's be honest, they've been there. Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to kind of change the narrative on that. Just an idea. On the day that this was signed into law by Governor Kemp, I'm pretty sure everyone now knows about the Georgia lawmaker, Miss Park Cannon, who was arrested, thrown in handcuffs, and arrested for knocking on the door while it was being signed into law, even though she worked in the building. And we can juxtapose that against what happened January 6th in Washington, D.C. all day. Someone who worked in the building knocked on the door, got immediately thrown in handcuffs, and some kind of way was also hit with the felony charge of like resisting arrest or going after the police, but she was thrown in handcuffs immediately. It's crazy how those charges accumulated against her. And again, she knocked on the door in the building she worked in to see something that is usually very public. Usually when governors sign things into law, it's an open session. The media can come in, the public can come see it. This piece of legislation, which is going to more than likely only affect people of color a whole lot more than it's going to affect other people in the greater Atlanta area and throughout the state. He signs that into law, surrounded by nothing but white men behind closed doors. Park Cannon's outside getting arrested. And again, she got arrested immediately. She didn't get to go home, catch a flight back home, even though she could have drove back home, hung out for a couple of days. No, she got arrested immediately. And then I'm thinking, okay, they're going to just put her handcuffs, get her out of there. That'd be the end of it. No, they went forward and charged her with 2 felonies, which is ridiculous. Shout out to Park Cannon for standing up. Shout out to everyone for showing her support. I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet from Senator Ossoff shortly after where he called everything like an outrage and how it shouldn't have happened. I'm not here to talk down to him at all, but I will say this: that even though he tweeted out and made people aware of it. Hey, this is outrageous. I would much rather see him there knocking on the door with her or instead of her. Because I can't imagine the Georgia State Patrol throwing a white male U.S. senator in handcuffs for knocking on a door under the gold dome. Can't see that. That was very, very easily. They did something that knew that they could get away with doing. Throwing her in handcuffs, putting her under arrest. John Ossoff's knocking on that door. He's not arrested. We know this. They're not going to give the media that opportunity to see a white man carried out of the Capitol. I can't see that. And it's sad that it's okay in it's so normal in people's head to see a black person get arrested that even when we know it's for nothing, we just kind of accept it. And we know for a fact that would not happen to him. So, yeah, I would say shout out for you for on the tweet. Don't know what you were doing that day. Not saying that not talking now and being railing against you, saying you should be there. But if you're there knocking on that door instead, that doesn't happen to you. So yeah, let's keep that in mind. Yeah, man. Shout out to Park Cannon. I know that's tough to be arrested for knocking on a door somewhere that you work when you shouldn't be arrested for that. And when you find yourself in situations where you've been put in handcuffs or arrested or approached by police or something like that, when you have done nothing wrong, that doesn't leave you. It doesn't leave you. I've had a few situations. I want to personalize this really quickly. I've had a few situations that have kind of stuck with me. My first one, I'm 13 years old, Shopping Plaza, Thomasville, Georgia, my hometown. Me and my cousin, hitting store to store, just had instructions from my mom. Just go look, figure out what you want. Go in each store, figure out what you might want to pick up. So tomorrow I can come with you. We'll pick it up for you, put it in the car. You out of here. We can just come in here, we can buy it and go. You ain't got to hit the racks in every store tomorrow. You know what you want, let's do it. So the game plan was to just go from store to store, figure it out, boom, boom. Go to Peppermint store, Peppermint Music at the end of the day, and pick up the CD I wanted. It was either It was either the Snoop Dogg, The Game Is To Be Sold, Not To Be Told, or Mr. Magic. One of those two. I just remember the CD being, like the cover being hella blue. So we went into a couple stores, long story short, and we walked out of Goodies, was in the store Goodies, saw some of our friends as we were walking out, so we kind of sped walk out to catch up with them, walk with them, went back down to Belts, went down there, looked at some stuff, and I was headed back to Peppermint Music to go pick up the CD. And so we had to go back past Goodies to get there. As we're walking past Goodies, the lady outside, the little white lady, points to my cousin. There they go right there. And me and my cousin, we both turned and looked behind us like, who the hell are they? Like, there ain't nobody behind us. Who are these they? And the police officer runs up to my cousin, grabs him, handcuffs him without any question, and just starts walking him towards the car. And another police officer comes to grab me, and I'm like, yo, I'm like hand fighting almost. Like, yo, what we doing here? What we doing? What do you mean? There they go. And he goes to grab me and throw my hands behind my back. I'm like, yo, what is this? What am I under arrest for? And they're like, you guys stole those shoes. We what? You ran out of here with shoes. No, we did not. Look on your camera. That's A. B, what shoes? They accused the lady, some kind of way they lost 2 display shoes. One ASIC, and let me tell you right now, no black kid in America is trying to steal an ASIC at 13 years old for no reason. Damn sure not one. One ASIC and one Adidas. They misplaced them some kind of way, and the only reasoning for these shoes being missing was the 2 black kids that walked out of here with haste 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, whatever. So yeah, that was my first dealing, was like, whoa. Someone accuses you of something, a lot of times there's no questions asked. You're going for a ride, buddy. Please believe that has stuck with me in my adult life. Still very much with me. My second one. The most important part of that. They throw me in handcuffs, walking me to the car. The only reason they let us go right then and right there was my sister had just became a police officer. She jumps out the car and she's like, whoa, what are you guys doing? That's my cousin and my little brother. They didn't steal anything. Like, I don't have to know anything else here. I know for a fact they didn't steal anything. My little brother's not stealing nothing. My little cousin's not stealing nothing. They're damn sure not stealing one shoe apiece. No, you gotta go look for that. They didn't steal it. And the cop immediately let us go. If my sister's not there, we are taken to the police department. We are probably processed, parents call. We are sitting like in a holding cell. It's dehumanizing. We have to go through this entire. If my sister's not there right then, we are talking about a totally different experience and how it ends. And even though it didn't get to that point, where it ended stayed with me. Second incident, and because I had to think to go back to that, because my sister came and played in the second one also. Second incident, probably about 4 years later. I'm in my mom's car in my neighborhood, just riding around, headed home. And I see some of my friends down the street walking. So I just go park the car, jump out, and I'm walking with them. We walking and we chopping it up. End up going to shoot some ball for a little second. And I end up walking one of my friends back down to his house. And it's going to his house or whatever. His sister, at the time I had braids, his sister helps me take my hair out. So, had the braids was getting my hair retwisted rebraided the next day. So she helped me take my braids out. And I walk back to my car. I get back to my mom's car. There's 2 cars there. And they got flashlights. It's dusk. They got flashlights all in the car. They looking all around the house next to it. And I'm like, yo, what's going on over here? They're like, this your car? I'm like, it's my mom's car. Oh, well, and they like hem me up. I'm like, we stay right there. They search me. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Why is this car here? Because this is where I parked it. Why'd you park it here? I saw some of my, you guys know the story. I saw some of my friends out of this, out of that. Well, why'd you park it right here if your friend lives around the corner? I saw them walking. I got out the car, walked with them. Just didn't mind leaving the car here. I live around here. well, you know this is an abandoned house. Well, yeah, well, from what we're hearing, this is a drug house. You know anything about that? No, I know it's abandoned because no one's ever here. And it was just question after question. And mind you, I know at this point, like, I got my sister in my back pocket. And I'm just, in my head, I'm like, let me see how long it's going to take me before I have to be like, yo, my sister's on the force, man. Like, what are we talking about here? The answer to that question is close to 30 minutes. Not probably, close to 30 minutes. We just sat there and this your mom's car. Can you call your mom and tell her to come over here, come get you, so you live around the corner? No. She's at home with my 5-year-old little sister. She was bathing her when I left. Like, my little sister's probably in bed. My mom's not going to walk around the corner. Well, how about you get in the car and we take you over there? No, I'm not getting in your car. My car's right here. And, well, this neighborhood is known to have a few carjackers. What do you know about it? I know I got the key. I can turn it. Like, what are we talking? 30 minutes. Finally, it was like, listen, dude, I don't know who you guys think I am or what you guys think this is. Oh, they were asking me, well, if you were just coming from just getting your hair taken out, why are you sweating right now? What were you doing at this friend's house? First of all, none of your business. B, I'm sweating because I got 2 cops hemming me up in my mom's car right now and they won't let me get in it. And finally, I got enough of it. They was like, all right, they're not going to like let me out of this situation without it going somewhere. So like, dude, I don't know who you guys think I am, but my sister's on the force. I wouldn't, if I was someone who would be a criminal, like my sister would probably have tried to nip that in the bud by now. No. And they were like, what force? The sheriff? No. Thomasville Police Department. Badge like yours, drives a car like that. What's her name? I gave them her name. Oh, wait, you're Sean? Yes. Oh, okay, well, you know what? You need to go straight home, this or that. I'm like, man, dude, whatever. We're going to tell you, sister, that you were out past curfew. I'm like, it's 8, whatever. And I went home. Well, no, I went to go do what I was supposed to do, what I was headed to go do anyway. And ended up going home and, again, stuck with me. That's 2 times where if I don't have a sister on the force, who knows how this ends? They were questioning me, waiting for me to give. They kept asking me to search the car. I'm like, no. They kept, even though there was nothing in the car, they kept just waiting for me to slip and say the wrong thing to give them the right to take it to the next level. And because I knew enough, I didn't do it. 3rd time was here in Connecticut. I first got here. I'm gonna try to keep this real brief. Still had Georgia plates on my car. And I get here to off one day. I was off on a Tuesday. It was Tuesday. And I was like, let me just drive to Danbury. I don't know why. I don't know what's in Danbury. I know one of my coworkers is from there. I'm just going to drive to Danbury, Connecticut for no reason. I had a lot on my mind. Just whatever. Let me just get in the car and go. Went to Danbury, hit the mall, hit a few stores, headed back home, passed by a police on the freeway. And I didn't zoom past him. We were doing the speed limit. I was in the passing lane. He was in the traveling lane. And as soon as we passed him, he looked, I had no tint on my windows. He looks at me and gives me a little double look. I'm like, oh, hell. He noticed me. Whatever. He gets in the passing lane behind me. I jump in the traveling lane. He keeps going past me. I end up getting in the lane. Now I'm right behind him. And we continue on this path for about 15, 20 minutes through a few small towns. And we end up getting into Waterbury, Connecticut. And all of a sudden, we were doing the speed limit. He just decelerates. And mind you, I'm behind a police officer. So in the passing lane. So every time we pass, every car that sees him in the rear view, they do what I did. They get over to the traveling lane. We pass by, then they jump in the line behind us. We're in a caravan in the passing lane, passing up cars. We get to Waterbury. All of a sudden, he takes his foot off the gas and just decelerates out of nowhere. So as soon as he does that, I'm like, oh, well, the right lane is open because no one's over here. Instead of me brake checking all the cars behind me, I just jump in the right lane real quick and keep on pushing. And then he applies his brakes, turns his lights on, jumps behind me. I'm thinking, oh, well, I didn't do anything wrong. We were going the speed limit. He must have been looking for something else. What's going on? Let me just try to pull over. I'm looking at him in my rear view. I go to pull over. I'm coming off an exit ramp. So I go off the exit ramp, go to the bottom of the ramp just because it's a separate situation that happened in Georgia. I pulled over the top of an exit ramp and the police was like, never do that again. So I go to the bottom of the exit ramp. I pull over. As soon as I do that, this man is at least 50, at least 55, I want to say. He jumps out of his car. He runs up to my window with his gun pointed at my head. And I'm like, yo, your gun? What are we doing right now? You didn't pull over immediately. I didn't think I did anything wrong to get pulled over, so you did plenty wrong. I did plenty wrong. And like I said, I want to keep it brief, but long story short, he didn't lower his gun until a few minutes, like 2 minutes later, when the conversation finally got to, you have Georgia plates. Why are you in Connecticut? And I'm like, I just took a job where I took my job. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, okay. It took me telling him where I worked to become a human being again. It's the moral of the story. For him to be like, oh, okay, you're just not some drug dealer or whatever he thought I was. I'm not looking at the hair. I'm not looking at the hoodie. Oh, you're just someone who has long hair and a hoodie, but you actually work at a reputable place. Oh, that explains it. And then his gun got lowered. Then we were able to have a conversation at that point. And he still gave me a ticket. I went to court to fight it because I didn't do anything worth getting a ticket. And the judge agreed. I didn't even bring up the gun in court. And the judge was like, yo, get out of here, kid. I kicked whoever the little police DA was, and I kicked his ass that day in court. But, yeah. And, I still wake up sometimes with that gun in my face from just dreaming about it. I just say that to say when we have these dealings with police, I know sometimes people may look at it on TV. I'm not even talking about like the George Floyd stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with his case. Not even just talking about where you look at it and it results in someone dying. Just being handcuffed and thrown in the back of a car. Just having someone point you out and all of a sudden, yep, that person said you're guilty. Now you're guilty. I just want people to be cognizant that when you see someone get thrown in handcuffs, that is traumatic. That stays with people. And for the people who was out there like, yo, that doesn't stay with you. You're the same person who on your first Tinder date will tell someone, oh my God, my last boyfriend was such a fuckboy. And like, I'm just so traumatized by it. I just can't. Like, at any sign of I run because of what I dealt with. I'm so traumatized by that. You'll be traumatized by a bad relationship or traumatized to the point where you can no longer eat mashed potatoes because of something happening. But when I'm telling you that, hey, being thrown in handcuffs or having a gun thrown in your face without the trigger being pulled, that's traumatic. You can't argue me on that. It is. So, shout out to Park Cannon. Prayers up for Park Cannon. I know that's going to stick with her for a very, very long time. Just being handcuffed at work, thrown in the back of a car at work, saying, hey, you doing your job here today is against the law because these white men decided it's against the law. That is going to stick with that woman for a long time. And I want you guys to be aware of that, to think about that, and remember that when we look at what's happening here. It's bigger than just people get to break into the U.S. Capitol, storm the building. Very few of the few who did some real fucked up shit are the ones who get arrested. Not everybody involved. This one woman belongs in the building, knocking on the door because she's not used to what's happening being behind closed doors. She's arrested. That's going to stick with her. And shout out to her. Prayers up for you for that.